everyone, welcome back. I'm so happy you're here, and of course I hope everyone is in for some new DIY inspiration. And of course, like you see a little bit on the colors on my table, we are going to kick off our 4th of July season DIYs. And of course I do it for a little bit for the 4th of July, but everyone knows I'm from the Netherlands, so we don't have the 4th of July. We have of course King's Day, but that's a little different, but the colors of the flag are the same, red, white and blue. But of course, if you're from Canada or from somewhere else, you can use your own colors you want to use for your DIY. So I try to make it as possible so everyone can use it for their own country or their own taste. You don't even have to do the colors of your country, you can just do the colors of your home. So there's a lot of talking, so we are going to use the smaller tumbling tower blocks. What will we do without them? I always say make sure that you have 4 until 5 packages laying around in your stash, so you always have enough. I have here my container with everything inside what I need, but the most important is the wood glue. You can use some hot glue. I used it already in the early days, a lot of hot glue, but I am in the years while you're learning, wood glue stays a little bit better, but hot glue glues faster. So do whatever you think is right. I have here my saucer with an old piece of kitchen towel which is wet to wipe away the glue, and I have here my colors of paint, but you can choose any color you like. Let's start this DIY. So we have already the first step on the table, and what we're going to make, we are going to make Uncle Sam's head, but a kind of an organizers. So we will see how this will turn out. The first start we're going to do 3 rows of 9. So 3 rows of 9. Of course, the point of my glue is not totally glue free, I always say. So we do the blocks flat on the table over here, and we're going to row them very easy on top of each other, this way and this way. And of course I always love making DIYs for the 4th of July because it looks a lot like the colors of our flag, only you have the stars and we don't have the stars. We only have the 3 coloring in a different shape, of course. But I like the color combination itself really well. But like I told you earlier, if you just make this kind of hat and you just spray paint it in black or maybe in gold or silver, you can use it just for your everyday decor. So you don't have to do it for any seasonal decor if you don't like that, because I always want that everyone has their own taste and give their own twist on their DIYs. I only give you an inspiration, and I always try to make sure that you like what you have in your home, because it's your home and you decide what you want to have in your home. Of course, we are now going to squeeze the blocks together from the inside to the outside. Make sure at the ending you always give it a hard press on the outside. You get your wet towel, you wipe away the glue from the top side over here, and if you want to do also the back side, do it fast, move it to the side and place it straight up. Clean up your mat, turn it over and do it on this side. And you do over here the same, clean up your mat, do it fast, place it straight up, and under here turn it over and do this side. Now you do this one. I don't do it the whole piece together with you this way. Don't worry. I only show you that you must move fast if you want to place it straight up and clean up your mat under here. So again, clean it up, turn it over and do this side. And afterwards, always go back and make sure that you have a straight line. If you have a carpenter square, of course, you don't have to do that. Then you already have them straight. But if you are like me and you just do it on your fingers and feeling it, just go back and make sure that you have a straight line. Give it a couple of minutes drying, and then we're going to glue them together. So now we're going to place them this way, this way. We're going to do 2 of them straight up. We do some glue on the top side. Over here, make sure that every block has a little bit of your glue. And this way. Over here. And now we're going to place it down. And that's why we don't wait too long, because we want to fill in the open gaps. You see, I have some open gaps, and if you gently squeeze it from the side, your open gaps just fill in. Very easy. Also feel on the side this way. And for this piece, we only need to cut a little piece. You can do it with an hand saw because it only needs a little bit of cutting later. But first we're going to let this dry in for at least 1.5 hours. So you see already in the meantime, while our little plank is drying, we have 16 pieces of two. So 16 pieces of two. We lay them flat on the table and we do some glue on the top side and roll them together this way because we want to make them a little bit longer than they are right now. So that's why we do 16 pieces of two, but you can even make them longer, but this is the smaller size of the head. I'm going to make two sizes, a bigger one and a smaller one, so you can organize some bigger things inside or some smaller things inside. You can use them on your in your bedroom, maybe in your sleep room, your bedroom, or your you can use them anywhere you like, craft room. Everything is possible. It is Monday. Forgive me my English because it is really a Monday over here. So we're going to squeeze them over here and just gently be sure that you have them straight on top of each other and give them then a couple of, maybe 1 minute drying before you're going to wipe away the glue because you don't want that everything is falling apart again. So just give it a minute, then wipe away the glue and then do a couple of minutes extra. So now our pieces are drying for the smaller head. And of course, now we're going to do a size bigger. So we have 4 rows of 12. 4 rows of 12. You lay them flat on your table again. And you just roll them very easy this way also together. And this is very easy to do. And I think everyone who likes or thinks crafting is difficult, of course, some pieces are a little bit more difficult, but I always say just try and you will see where it will bring you. I had also a question in my comments. How do I, if I make my pieces already in front before I'm going to show it to you? No, I don't. I just make it and I always see where it will brings me. And you see exactly the steps. What you see is the first time you see it also. Do I make mistakes? Yes, a lot of you, and a lot of you already see my mistakes because I show everything. So I can't make it in front because or else it will be much too expensive with my blocks, because the blocks here in the Netherlands are much more expensive than a lot of you can buy them for. So, and we have less in the package than you have. So the DIYs I can't make in front because or else it will be, like I told you, too expensive. So now I'm going to do row number 4. So I make it on the spot. I have something in my head. Of course, there are so many crafters on YouTube, on Pinterest, on Google. You can find lots and lots of ideas over there. But I try always to make my own twist on it. Of course, sometimes some people make beautiful things. So if you don't like this, just go over to Pinterest, YouTube, Google, just name it. And there are so many beautiful creators. So go check them out and also give them some love, because there are many, and a lot of the crafters have a difficult time because there are so many of us. And especially also, I can really say that I have a lot of loyal friends, so many beautiful friends, but it is hard to get the views. I don't speak about it, but the views are really not high for at least for the DIYs I make, because they are really expensive if you're going to make it from wood, especially from the tumbling tile blocks. So we will see where it will bring me in time. But of course, I only want that a lot of people can see what we are making. So, but a lot of talking about that. We're just going to make our beautiful heads. So we're going to squeeze them together. You see already what I do. I'm going to clean it up, place it straight up, and I'm going to let it dry in for a couple of minutes. So you see already, I gave them a couple of minutes. What I'm going to do, very gently, we're going to turn them this way And of course they are not totally dry because I do that especially like I told you with the first one, because we want to fill in the open gaps, and if you let it dry too much then it doesn't dry anymore. So again, over here you can do some glue on 3 of them over here, and we're going to place them down and fill in the rows and this way. And now we're going to do gently squeeze them together every time, go back and go back. And a lot of you see already that one of the rows is already a little smaller, but it doesn't matter because we're going to saw off a little piece. So again, squeeze them, and we're going to wipe away the glue and make sure that everything is cleaned up before we're going to let this dry in for at least also 1.5 hours. So I see already on the table a lot of blocks because we're going to make the other one a little bit higher. At least I think maybe I'm going to do a mix with the 2 and the 3, but for this one, for the bigger one, we do 3 high. So I have 18 rows of 3, and I think I have more than enough, or else we have to make later a couple of extra. But you just do 18 pieces of 3. So just roll them together this way, very easy. Oh, you see already, I'm already stuck to my own blocks. Do some glue on the top side and again roll them together. You see already I make one big mess out of my piece, and you just go over and over again and roll them until one, because this needs to dry at least a half hour before you can paint it. So that's why it's always relaxing to do this, because you can take your time for it. I try to do it as fast as I can. And we do over here, I only do this row together with you, so don't worry, you don't have to look all of the all of the blocks and see that it is one big chaos over here. So again, we're going to do this one and this one, but it is always one big chaos over here. Again, number 7, oh, and number 8. Because on the other side, not number 8, of course, number 9, because I have 9 here and 9 here, 18 pieces of 3. I'm going to glue them together, and you see right now, of course, how they turned out. So you see already our 18 pieces of 3, and we're going to let them rest for at least a half hour. So in the meantime, while my little blocks are drying, at least the 2 high and the 3 high, I have here of course, my planks, and I'm going to look for rounds with a fitting on top of here. I have, for the smaller one, I already have one. So just go around in your home and just look for the size which is fitting on top of here. So I'm going to get my marker and I'm going to go around my candle and just make a nice round over here, so you can easy saw it out. And you see already it's only little pieces you need to saw out. I think this one is even a little bit too small, so I'm going to look for a little bigger size of the round. So you see now I have my 2 rounds, the bigger one, the smaller one. I have 3 colors, the red, white and blue, and of course I'm going to paint my bigger one in the dark blue color. So again, over here I use some acrylic paint, not a chalk paint, but acrylic paint, because I like that the wood is still coming through. But that's not everyone's cup of tea, so do whatever you think it's right. I always take my time because I find it very relaxing to paint. So I'm going to take my time. So this one will be in the blue color. So now the blue one is drying, and now I'm going to do the smaller one in the bright red, of course. Also, you can choose any color combination you like. I'm going to do this one in the red color. So now I painted my bigger round and my smaller round, and now I have from the 3 rows on top of each other, I'm going to do 9 of them in the red color and 9 of them in the white color. So I'm just making a little bit of a combination together with it. So I'm going to take 9 and I'm going to paint this 9 pieces of 3 in the red color, and I take my time for this one also. So now I have 8 pieces of the double blocks, the 2 blocks like this one. Oh, here you are. I'm going to paint 8 of them in the dark blue color. So only 8 of them, and the other 8 we're going to do white. So now what's left over is of course the white color. So I'm going to get my 9 pieces of 3 and I'm going to paint them also in the white color. And again, of course, I also going to paint the 8 pieces of 2 in the white color. So now we did paint all the pieces. I get a marker and of course I have here my blue round. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to did go look for a round which is a lot smaller than my round over here. Placed it on top of here and did my line around it. So I have a measurement where I want to glue my little pieces of wood over here. So we get a nice round for the head. So I'm going to make it a little bit thicker so I can see it a little bit better, and then we're going to glue them around here. So now I'm going to get one of the red bigger ones. I'm going to use my wood glue. Of course you can use some hot glue. I'm really debating if I would use some hot glue or some wood glue, because hot glue is better because it glues immediately. So I'm still debating. I'm going to try this, but maybe I'm going to switch over to the hot glue. So we will see. I just do a little bit of glue over here and I'm just going to remove a little because we don't want that it goes. And I'm going to place it exactly in the middle of my line over here and just squeeze it down over here. And then I'm going to get one of the bigger ones of the white. And this one. I do a little glue on the underside. Also a little drop. Not too much. And I'm going to place it next to the other one. And again, we're going to squeeze it. Make sure that we have them both at the same height. I'm going to press it down. Keep it in place for a little moment. Of course, what you also can do is just do a piece of tape. Just place your pieces in between and then you can easy, but because I want to use it open, you always can see on the inside your piece of tape and of duct tape. That's not what I want. So I'm going to try to do it this way. Maybe it will be one disaster. We will see how this will turn out. So you see, I did already a couple of them because or else you get very bored. It's very easy. Just do some glue again on top of it and you just place them on your round you made on top of here. So it is so easy to do. Just place them next to each other and go by your round. And now we're going to do again a red one. And easy, we make a simple round. And we go over here. And we go so on and on until we have our round. So now we have our smaller round on top of a piece of paper, kitchen towel, and we have a little cork over here, and this is where you place your coffee or your tea on top of here. So this is, you see, a lot smaller than mine. So I'm going to get my marker again and I'm going to make my round very easy. Just go around just lightly so you only have a little bit of a mark where you want to place your blocks. So over here and over here, make just a thin line. And then you already have your measurement for your blocks. And also with this round, we are going to do the same. We do some glue on now we only have pieces of the two. So we do some glue over here on the underside. And like I told you, you can also use some hot glue. Maybe that's even better. You don't know. I'm going to squeeze it down and make sure that I wait a little moment. I'm going to get my small brush because I want to wipe away a little of the glue which is sticking out, because that's not a great sight to see. And if you wait too long, then it's very hard to get away. So we're going to get one blue and we do some glue on the underside. And we're going to place it over here next to the other one in the same row. And again, press it down and you go in with your smaller brush and you wipe away the glue which is coming out over here. And so I'm going to make the round again. So you see already I'm almost at my rounding to close it in. And of course, every time I measure a little bit out in the dry before I'm going to glue it, if I am still on the track for everything is fitting nicely, because it is possible that it doesn't fit. Maybe then you need to spend out a little, or maybe close it in a little. That's also a possibility. Always work with it and look for what's the best fitting, because you want that everything is on and on, blue, white, so on and on. So sometimes it's just a little bit working with it and look for where you want to have it. Sometimes a little bit outside of the ring, sometimes a little bit inside of the ring. So again, I'm going to place this one over here, a little bit to the inside, or else I have too much room. And you see here also a little to the inside. And again, the last will be fitting exactly over here. So you see, I have my round over here. What I'm going to do, because I want to dry them very nicely, I'm going to place this piece on top of here. I just looked in my house and in my stash what I found, and this is what I placed something big on top of here, so this way, so I'm sure that the glue is sticking very nicely on top of here, because like I told you, the hot glue is sticking a little bit better than the wood glue. Wood glue at the end is of course better, because when it is dry, it's really better that it's dry. But for the moment, when you want to have a quick stick on top of here, yeah, then the hot glue is better. So, but hot glue, when you move it around, it breaks easy. So we will see how this will turn out. So I did go to my stash at least in the meantime, while my pieces are drying. I have always in my stash some wooden ladders, but you can use Scrabble ladders. You can use a piece of cardboard and just cut the ladders out. You don't have to use the wooden ladders. I have here the USA and 2 times, because I do on both of the heads, I'm going to do the same. So I'm going to do the letters in blue, red and white. And of course, I think I'm only going to do the front side, but I have to see, maybe I do the whole letter, but I have to look for what I like the best. But just do whatever you think. If you, like I told you, if you have cardboard laying around, you have other letters laying around, just do whatever you think is right. So now I painted my letters, and I have here some a little bag of dowels with a smaller size, not really a big size. Of course, I'm going to get my glue gun, and of course I'm going to do some glue on my letters. Of course, if you want to, you first can paint your dowel in the color you like. I like a little bit of the contrast color, like the wood color, but you don't have to do that. Of course, I'm going to glue my letter on top, and because I think I'm going to use both of my heads for with a plant from IKEA. So I'm going to use it probably as a planter. You can use it for organizing, you can use it for anything. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get the U, and I'm just going to do some glue on top of my dowel, a little over here. I'm going to place it, and I'm going to place it exactly in the middle, and I'm going to keep it in place for a little moment until it is dried up. And this is the way I'm going to do with all the letters, and later I'm going to cut it in the size I want to have it. So you see, now I have all my letters on top of a stick, and of a dowel stick. Yeah, we call it stick, but on a dowel. So I'm going to decorate my 2 planters, because like I told you, I'm going to use them as planters. You see in a moment a quick impression. And you see finally a quick impression of my tumbling towel blocks Uncle Sam's head, and I'm so happy how both of them turned out. Of course, I use them as a planter, but you can use them for anything else. Of course, everyone, I hope you give this one a try. And if you're new here and you're not subscribed to the channel, I hope you will click the red subscribe button, give it a thumbs up and hit the bell, so you will be notified every time we upload new DIYs. Everyone, have an amazing day, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye.
Something good.